All right, so let's fiddle around for a second with discounts and payouts. So the idea of this, and I've never actually seen this financial product offered, so I don't know if this thing still exists or if it just used to exist. Sorry, I've borrowed some money before. I've never seen this thing. It's probably not a terrible idea, actually. So what they do is they sort of take the interest out of the amount you borrow. Right? Like, you're going to borrow a certain amount. So this is like me saying, I'm going to spend $1,500 on this loan over the course of its life. How much can you give me today for that? You guys see that? So what they do is you end up getting a discount, which looks a lot like an interest formula. So this thing is the discount. So that's the amount discounted. Oh, and I forgot to write down what M means. Totally blank.
Money.
No, it's got a funny word.
Often.
It's maturity value.
Good job.
Thank you. Have you seen this offered? Or are you just saying maturity value because you're reading it? Okay. So this is the maturity value. R is the rate again. T is the time again. Okay, so notice please, this thing looks an awful lot like interest, right? This P is not the principal, that's the payout. This M is again the maturity value, and D is again the discount, right?
So by payout, that's what they'll give you in order for you to really pay.
That's exactly what they're going to give me. You guys see this? So the way this works is I'm going to specify to the bank something like, I'm willing to pay back in total $1,500. How much will you give me today for that?
So they set the loan amount to incorporate the interest on top of that?
Yeah, but it's not actually quite the same thing.
No?
Yeah, this is just a little bit different than if you set the total amount to something and solve. It's a little bit better on their side. So this makes just a tiny little bit more money for the bank.
So what does maturity value actually
So
mean?
maturity value is the total amount that I'm going to spend.
Okay.
And then the payout is what I'm going to get today,
Okay.
right? Like what I'm going to borrow, and then I'll pay that back and some interest, right?
Okay.
This is just slightly different, though, than setting A equal to that maturity value. It doesn't quite work that way.
Could it go over? So like you said initially, like, hey, I can pay you guys $1,500 eventually. Could it go over $1,500?
No, this is set. This is capped.
This is set.
Yeah, this is me setting that. I'm going to set this thing M. They're going to calculate a discount D. They're going to take that out of M, and they're going to hand me P dollars.
Barring defaulting payments.
Yeah, so assuming I make all the payments on time.
So the discount is just like the bank's interest?
Yeah, so this is them kind of taking the interest off up front, okay, which is a bit funny. Yeah, which is, I'm assuming, why I've never seen this product offered. Let's test one out. How about that?
Sure.
So let's say we want to borrow so we want $1,200 discounted at 15% per year for 10 months. Oops, comma, what's the question?
How much? What's the payout?
Yeah, what's the payout? How much can I get today? Okay, see this? Okay, so let's identify the bits and bobs here. So, what's the $1,200?
Maturity rate?
Yeah, that's the mature value.
15's the rate.
15's the rate. 10 months is
10/12.
yeah, is 10/12, which is the time. Right? Again, be careful because the time units are mismatched, right? So then what? I should figure out how much the discount is, right? Okay, so discount is 1,200 times
0.15.
0.15, very good. Remembering to convert to decimals. Times 5.6. Okay, so I think you get, what, 150 bucks out of this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a discount of $150, right?
What do you mean by discount? Like,
So that's the amount they're going to take off for interest. So right now they're going to pay me,
so it's just the wording discount, it's not.
yeah, it's not a discount for you.
So is it a discount for them then? How does this,
Yeah,
this
so how
make
does this
their
work?
deal
It goes,
better?
I'll
If you're
eventually
discounting
give you
your
1,200 bucks.
Yeah, this is me saying, okay, in 10 months I'm going to give you 1,200 bucks. How much can you give me today for that?
Discount is just interest payout.
Yeah, discount's the amount of interest they're going to charge you on the whole object. So they calculated, here's the amount of interest we're going to charge you.
Okay.
We're going to take that off of this amount, right? And so what we're going to hand you right now is the $1,200 you propose to pay us, taking away this $150 kind of interest fee, right? And so they're going to pay me
$1,050.
$1,050, right? So how much can I get today? I can get just over, well, $1,050, right? And in 10 months, I'll owe the bank $1,200. You guys see that?
Well, you just own the rest of that. The
Oh.
equals 1,200, no?
I owe them the $1,200. That's what I said. I'm gonna pay you $1,200 in 10 months. How much can you give me today?
All right, there's one thing like this. The whole process makes sense, but how would this, even though you don't say they really offer it, how would this be better for you or the bank than using the other method, the simple interest?
That's a great question. Let's look at this. So,
I guess it gets interest out of the way immediately. Don't have to worry about that.
Well, the interest is charged on the total payout that you give back to the bank.
And the bank.
On what you get.
yeah, you guys see that?
I
No.
didn't hear
So,
what you said.
say that louder.
So the interest is paid on the 1,200, which is what you're paying at the end and not what you get like normal interest.
You guys see that?
Okay.
So if the interest,
So-
the 15% was calculated on the 1050, it would be less, but the interest is calculated on the 1,200.
Exactly.
So that's better than the bank. Why is that better for you? Why would
It's
you
not
do
better
that?
for you. It's
Then
better
why would
for
you
the
do
bank.
that? Is that why it's not offered? Because people never wanted to do it?
So, I don't know. I'm not a financial expert.
Well, it sounds better for you because it's a lower interest rate.
So the interest rates on discounted products and on regular products, I suspect differ. And they should differ because this is a better deal for the bank, right? If I just pay this thing with, right? If I borrow $10,050 at 15% interest for 10 months, let's see how much I would end up paying them. You guys do that problem? So, how much would a loan of $10.50 at 15% per year for 10 months, 10 months, cost? Can we answer that?
Yeah, with the other one.
With the other equation, right? So that's an easy one too, because I'm just trying to calculate A, right? So what's P? 1050. And then I'm going to multiply by 1 plus 0.15 times 5.6.
That's the interest.
Yeah,
Comes out to, oh, whoops.
alright, so
In the parentheses is 131.
1,181.25.
So it'd be better for you to do this, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So it would be better for me,
If you knew how much you wanted.
right, to sort of back out of this equation and just say, all right, I'm just going to pay simple interest on it. The discounting thing, right, the interest that gets paid is counted on the total that I'm going to pay at the end, not the amount I borrowed at the beginning, which is why this is kind of a better deal for me as a consumer.
So you're paying
If
for the
the
power
interest
source.
rates was the same.
Yeah,
Like
so
if they're-
assuming interest rates are the same, but I suspect that discounted interest rates are a little bit lower than,
So it could be better for both of you in the long run.
it definitely won't be better for both of you.
Okay.
Thanks, but not mine.
It will definitely be better for one or the other of you, or at least even, right?
Yeah.
Because there has to be a third party for you.
But it, yeah, there has to be a third party for money to come for both of you.
You gotta exploit something.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad that we're learning so much really nasty economics.
But I can appreciate this.
Stats, you don't have enough to trust it.